Hey, how's it going, everybody? Long time no see. Thanks for tuning in and watching today's video. So just a little bit of an update. I haven't posted an actual video on the channel for a long time. Been really busy with stuff. Life happens, no excuses there. But I have been trying to do my best to share some shorts and some just skill stuff that I've been doing. Really transferring it from what I've been doing on my Instagram page and also sharing it here on YouTube, because there is that new way of doing videos called shorts, and it's just been really fun. It's kind of a quick way to scroll through people's videos and just see all kinds of really neat stuff. So I figured, since I haven't done a video in quite some time, it would be awesome to show you what my kit is right now. When it's super hot, when I'm trying to really trim it down, lightweight, quote unquote, and my focus is completely different than what it was earlier in the year when I shared what's in my pack, and it was for the winter. So this is going to be more tailored towards spring, summer, and early fall, because it still is 80, 90 degrees here in Texas, even until September. It's a completely different mindset, and the whole kit changes, and it's just something I thought would be a really good video to kind of put on the channel, since I haven't posted anything in a while, because I know people really enjoy these kind of videos, and it's kind of a good mindset to have, to just adapt your kit to your situation and not just what you like to carry all the time, because there's plenty of stuff that I would love to have in this pack, but it's just not worth the wait for how hot it is right now. So I'm gonna stop blabbing and we're gonna go over all this. First things first, it is a part of your kit. What do you have on you? This is a very important thing to me, because this is kind of your first line of defense against the elements, against bugs, and also, if you have it on you, the chances of you losing it or leaving it or being separated from it are very slim to none. So right off the top, from the head to the toes, I have a Wazoo cash cap with a little bit of gear in this, nothing major. I have their necklace, whetstone necklace, and the Firecraft necklace. I just combined the two. I'm wearing a very loose, free-flowing shirt. It's got ventilation on it. It's really key to this area at this time of the year. Baggier, loose-fitting clothing, long sleeves. It's all very important for me, because it keeps me from having to use sunscreen. Treat both my shirt, undershirt, pants, and socks with permethrin. So if I'm walking through thick brush, I can put my sleeves down and have my undershirt tucked in, and I rarely ever get ticks because of that. So moving down to the lower half, I have my Wazoo cash belt on with more gear in that. I'm not being very specific with what's in there or in my hat, because I have a future video coming up. My pocket knife that I have with me is a Demco knife. It's the 80-20.5. It's like their shark fin, their new one. It's awesome. I really enjoy it. It's AUS 10A steel, so it's not my absolute favorite steel, but man, I really enjoy this knife. It's been really good to me. It's lightweight, and it's just a good pocket knife. In that same pocket, I also have my Olight SR2 baton or something like that. I can't remember. It's hot and humid like this. This is really my only means of flashlight that I carry with me. I find that it works more than well enough because of the way the clip is. I can also put it on my hat, and I don't need to worry about carrying a headlamp. And this is also rechargeable. I also have a big lighter with the child safety lock removed on it. And then in my other pocket, I have my phone and my keys. In my back pocket, I have my Wazoo Survival Legacy wallet with my pen and pad and my cards. So moving on to what I carry, I have the Hidden Woodsman Dayruck, the black one. I've been rocking this for quite a while now. I'm a big fan of the all black. I can take this into the city, and I can also still bring it out here. I don't think it gets much better than an all black pack. It's just my opinion. I love it. This is what I bring whenever it's super hot, humid. Like I said, the weather conditions dictate what I bring, and if I'm going out for the day, bet your money I'm bringing this. It's got enough room for my filming and camera equipment, plus all the gear, and I have the mindset that there's enough in here if something happened to me, I could stay the night out here. Now, I don't feel like, unless it was a mechanical injury, that I would ever need to do that, because I know how to get out of here, and I know how to at least get to some houses that are out that way that I literally kind of walk by when I'm on my way in. But if I had to, or if I decided to, there's enough in here that I could sleep under something to keep me dry if it's raining, or I could put it up if it's raining. I could sleep in it to keep me warm, and then I could sleep on top of it to insulate me from the ground. There's also ways for me to procure water in this, and indefinitely. And I also carry enough food, things to give me energy and to somewhat comfort me if I did have to have a rough night of camping. So my mindset is don't bring more than what you need, because it's going to be dead weight and you're going to be carrying it, and I'm already sweating. Like I'm soaking wet right now and I'm just talking to you. Imagine carrying 40 plus pounds. So this is always 20 pounds or less, and that's with camera gear. So I try to go as light and fast as possible, because I'm out here to hike around and explore, or collect resources, or come out and do some photography, or look at wildlife, or do tracking. Like, it's not all just survival and bushcraft for me. Like I feel better when I'm out here. This is a way that I connect to nature. Like that saying, nature connection, it's very real. So this is kind of what my pack's set up for, is multiple things, instead of just I'm going out into the woods and I'm going to survive and I'm going to build this big shelter and all that. Like, that's just not reality. I hate to break it to you, but it's just not. If you're not enjoying it, there's no need to come out here and do this. So from the top down, I have it packed a certain way. From what I need most immediately, right off the bat, to stuff that I don't necessarily need to get to right away, but I have in there. And even more so, the stuff that I have at the bottom is stuff that usually has a little bit more weight to it, and that also kind of helps establish the dimensions of the pack, if you were to say. So I put kind of the weight down towards the bottom and put stuff on top of it, and go that way. So at the top is something I'm going to need to get immediately, and that's my first aid kit if I ever need it. So right off the bat, like what you saw, I have what I would need for first aid. I'll go over this here in a second. I'm actually going to pull out my pad from the back and start laying stuff out, and I'll give you close-ups and talk about everything as I do it. So in the very back, I have one of the knee pads or kneeling pads from the Hidden Woodsman. It folds up and fits in nice into the sleeve here in the back. And then on top, I have my my little kit that I would need for first aid or any kind of gear repair, and it's got a little bit of other odds and ends in here. But this is a pouch from Program J Missouri. He's on Instagram, and he sells these. They're like the old military shotgun pouches, the shotgun shell pouches. And in here I have a Henka paracord, about 6 feet, and my first aid is I think it's called the Pocket Trauma Kit from Live the Creed. And in here it has this quick deploy tab that opens up, and in here you have your bumps, cuts, bruises, cleaning wounds, whatnot, and it's all pre-packaged. You can buy it fully loaded or buy it empty and do your own. I bought it fully loaded. You've got a SWAT T tourniquet in here. Although I'm not a big fan of the SWAT T tourniquets, for what it's worth, its size and the way it packs, it's better than nothing. I usually carry an actual tourniquet in here with me. It's not in here today, but I do have the SWAT T tourniquet. It's got sterile gloves and something to stop hemorrhaging. So this is a very little versatile kit for what it's worth. I also have a Grim Survival fishing kit in here. Really handy. The Grim Workshop stuff is just awesome. I have a Wazoo Survival burnable business card. I have an Exotac Bic lighter sleeve with braided fishing line wrapped around it. I have some Technora or Kevlar cord, or it actually is Kevlar cord, a fire steel, and another Grimm Workshop plastic cord maker. There's a lot of things in this little pouch that could make life a lot easier if for some reason this was all I had. It's not the best, but it's just kind of a really good odds and ends pouch, and it holds my pocket first aid kit. If you don't mind, I'm gonna get comfy. There's no need to be on my knees if I don't need to. Next up, right underneath the Program J Missouri pouch, I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it, but I have this really versatile piece of kit. I've shown it in multiple videos. Unfortunately, they're no longer made, but this is folded up right underneath this, and this is just a really multifunctional mat. There's a few different companies that make something like this, but basically what this is it's a 1000D Cordura on the bottom with a 1000D Cordura sleeves on the inside, and on the outside is ripstop nylon, and it serves a bunch of different things. For one, this is what I would be sleeping on top of if I needed to insulate myself from the ground. So the sides of this are actually Velcroed, and they're baffles. So I can stuff both this side and this side with debris. And I've stuffed it up full enough that it makes a pretty good little tick mattress, and it's about the length of my torso. So it's going to be much better than just sleeping on the bare ground. It also, because it has the tubes at the top, it also serves as a hammock chair. So I can make a tripod and string paracord through this thinner tube up here, and at the bottom I can run the beam that goes across and put it in front of the legs of the tripod, and now I have a hammock chair. The tabs that are sewn on the sides here also allow this to fold up, and it makes a makeshift backpack or game bag. So it's not being made anymore. I hate it because it's such a cool little piece of gear, but I'm going to be putting everything on top of this as we go through it in the pack. And this is kind of like what I have, because I normally set this down and I either sit on top of this or will pull my stuff, out to sort through it or whatever. And like I said, it's also what I would be sleeping on top of if I had to stay the night out here. Immediately after that, I have what I would be sleeping under. So my shelter, my first aid is at top, and then my shelter is right underneath it, because that's what I would need to get to, in my opinion, quickest, because if it's raining or I do decide for whatever reason it's going to be time to stay out here, that's what's going to be going down. This is another product that I have a video on. I'm just in love with it. It's such a versatile piece of kit, but it's the T60 emergency shelter system from Coalcracker Bushcraft. Super lightweight. It compacts down to literally nothing, and it's a great tarp, and it already has cordage on it. Super easy ridgeline system. You literally just tie a bow knot on one end, like a shoelace knot on one end and a shoelace knot on the other, and you're ready to go. Right underneath that, I have my Kuxa, because normally coffee is the first thing I do. And then I'll move to the sides of the pack. So I have the Pathfinder titanium bottle, or the Self-Reliance Outfitters titanium bottle kit, cup and lid, and it's full of water. I always walk into the woods with clean water, ready to drink. I fill myself up before I leave, especially on days like this when it's really humid. And then I bring water with me. So I make sure I'm hydrated before I come out, and then I already have water that's with me and it's ready to drink. On the opposite side of that, I have my Grail GeoPress. This has been invaluable for me. I've tried a lot of the other filters, and although they work and they're fine, I think the next best thing besides this would be the Katadyn Be Free. But I like this. Is already a container. It's much quicker. There's no flow rate that I need to worry about. I literally press it and it gives me water. I don't have to swish water around to clean it. It's just good to go. And then on the outside of this, I have the pre-filter. It's just a cotton canvas pre-filter from Campcraft Outdoors, and it's really nice. It comes with a piece of cord on it that you can hang it from a tree, and so you basically fill from the creek or the river you fill your water up in this, and then put your Grail, hang this, and then put your Grail underneath it to go ahead and pre-filter it. I would suggest you do that with any filter. No matter how awesome they say they are, it's always best to pre-filter your water, even if it's clear. All it's going to do is extend the life of your filter and make it last that much longer, and you won't have to buy a new cartridge or a new screw-on filter. So that's a really handy thing to have, and it weighs next to nothing. So that's my water option right there. So I have my shelter already covered. I'm sleeping on top of something. I'm sleeping underneath something. What I would be sleeping in is in here. I'm gonna get to that in a second. And then I have my water already covered. So first aid, shelter, and water are all right here, easy to get to. So onto my cutting tools. I forgot to go over this with you, but on my hip I have a belt knife. It's the LT Wright Knives Next Gen in Scandi, and I have the new Grim Survival Bandit band. So I'll zoom in on this and show you everything that's on here, but it's basically a way to add more to your sheath, especially if you don't have a ferro rod loop on it, and it doesn't really increase the size of it or the weight of it as much as what you would think. So on this little Bandit band, I have a ferro rod from Exotac with tinder inside the ferro rod handle. I have Grim Survival dog tags, little fishing kit, LT Wright Knives fuse, striker, and scraper little tool. I can use this to drill divots. I can use this to scrape bark or tinder, and it's also a flint and steel striker, and I can scrape a ferro rod with it. On the front of it, I have a Wazoo Survival Whetstone with a ferro rod toggle on it, just a redundancy. I know I have one around my neck, but this is one that it just fits on here nice. And then I have a spare Bic lighter on the front. I also have, for another cutting tool, my Silky Pocket Boy Outback Edition. Man, I've really fallen in love with this saw. I've been a huge Bahco fan for a long time now, but when they came out with the Outback Edition, I finally convinced myself that I had to buy it and try one, and I haven't looked back. This saw is the bomb. Next, I have a hank of paracord for my ridgeline, or whatever else I need to do, a clothesline. I have a pair of gloves. These are Tillman 1414s. I love these. They're just heavy duty. They work great. I used them whenever I was welding. Wore them all the time, and so I had a huge bag of them that I would just order in bulk when I was welding, and just slowly going through them. They're excellent gloves. In the front zippered pocket inside of here, I have a few more little odds and ends. Pull all this out real quick. I have a pack of the Kuju pour over coffee, the lid to my Pathfinder titanium bottle, a spare cotton bandana. This happens to be the foraging one from Wazoo. Ferro rod from Exotac. This is their XL. It has a tinder and duct tape on here. And I have my Leatherman Free P4 multi-tool. Man, I'm absolutely in love with this. It's my favorite multi-tool I've ever had. And yeah, I finally bit the bullet and bought a different multi-tool than what I've had for years now. And I haven't looked back. The inside sleeve that I keep the kneel pad, I have a way to do some hygiene maintenance, some dude wipes. These are the ones with the aloe vera, eucalyptus, tea tree. So I can take care of bathroom duties with this. I can also clean myself with this. I usually pull a good 6 to 8 and put them in a Ziploc bag, but there was about that many left in the sack itself, so I threw it in there. I have a drum liner. These are invaluable. If you don't carry one of these in your pack, it's worth its weight in gold. This is what I can sleep in. It would be it'd be very hot, but it would add an extra layer of protection from either rain or wind. I've also experimented with these and cut the bottom, just zip the bottom across to allow some airflow. and it still works really well. So this is just an invaluable resource to me. You can't put a price on it. It weighs absolutely nothing, and there's so much you can do with this. And the last thing in the back of that little sleeve is the meal that I would either need to eat or that I can eat at any time. This is just a dehydrated meal from Packet Gourmet, and it happens to be the West Memphis Grits Souffle. So it's really small, compact, and 360 calories, 50 grams of carbs, 18 grams of protein, and 12 grams of fat. So the carb macros are a little high for my preference, but if I'm out here blowing through calories, or I need to stay the night, or put something more in my stomach, it's perfect. So we've now come to the very bottom of the pack, and it's literally two little kit pouches. One of them is not always going to be in here. I brought it out for today because I plan on having some fun. The other one is what stays in here all the time. So first I'll go over this little small pouch by the Hidden Woodsman. This is kind of a little fun pouch. It basically is nothing more than the Exotac X-Reel and a little can of the crappie nibbles from Berkley, the Power Bait crappie nibbles. So that's something I brought out here because I plan on heading down to the creek here in a little bit and doing some little fishing and just having some fun, relaxing a little bit. What sits at the bottom of my pack and just kind of adds, it's really, besides the water being full and maybe my first aid little kit, it's really what has the most weight out of all of this. It's another pouch from the Hidden Woodsman, and it's kind of like my odds and ends bag. So at the top, I have a small little Self-Reliance Outfitters Dyneema bag, and in here I have some spare batteries, a pocket bellow to go along with what else is in here, and some emergency fire tinder, some live fire and a little kit, and that's really it. So this is kind of like a little ditty bag, some spare batteries in there when I do bring a headlamp, and just really nothing else to it. But the main part of the kit is my Firebox Nano folding stove. This is not the titanium one, but I have the X case with it. This is how I would boil water to cook my dehydrated meal, and it's really nice and small. It's super efficient with fuel. It doesn't take anything to get it going, and it doesn't leave some big footprint. It's not some huge raging fire. The last thing I want out here right now is to be anywhere near a fire, feeding a fire, taking care of a fire. It's so hot and humid. So something small like this that I can collect off the land, and it's not something that's going to run out of fuel. I love my canister stove, and it's a lot quicker and easier, but this is something that I can always keep on me, and I know for sure I have a way to boil water and cook food, or whatever meal that I brought. Besides that, I have a Grimm Survival card. This happens to be Callie Russell's card. A lot of cool stuff on here. I mainly brought it because there's an awl, a needle, tweezers, and some other fishing implements. So just more ways to gather food and take care of myself or my gear. I have Bushcraft Kelso's multi-card striker. This is just a metal card that serves a lot of different purposes. Not only is it a flint and steel striker, but I can also scrape any kind of bark with this, any kind of material. I can also pry stuff with this. I can put this under a rock and help pry stuff out of the way. I can process any kind of cordage with this by scraping it, and it just weighs nothing. I have a hank of bank line on a little rope dog that I made. I just carved this and put bank line around it. And then I have the Exotac rip spool that also has more duct tape, more thread, needles, and if I had to, I could use this as a little hand fishing line kit. That's it. That is everything that's in this kit. It's completely versatile. There's redundancies in here, but that's just the way I roll. I don't like going into the woods with only one kind of thing. So There's a few different ferro rods. There's a few different ways to make fire. There's a few different ways to make water, and you know, it's good to have those redundancies. But this kit is still with water and my full camera gear and everything packed in here. This kit is still 20 pounds, maybe less, like 19, 18 pounds. So that is everything that I'm going to be running from now until it starts to cool down. Things may change here or there depending on, you know, what I'm wanting to work on. I might bring out some wood carving tools, but for the most part, that's what I'm going to be rocking in my day hiking kit. I think it's just a really good loadout for me. I understand that there's going to be some stuff that I may not have covered, or that you yourself might want or think that I should bring, or that you would want to have in your kit, and it's all personal preference. Over the years, this is what I found works best for me, and it makes me feel the most safe, most comfortable, and lets me have the most fun out here doing it without really weighing me down and making me feel like I'm bringing way too much stuff. So I hope this was fun for you to watch. I hope it might have helped you. I will do my best to put everything that you've seen here in this video in the description below with links. If not, I'll have most of all this added to a big Amazon store link or something. I hope you really enjoyed watching this. I know these kind of videos are fun for me to see because it kind of gets my wheels turning and my mind going as to this person's bringing this and I need to look into this. Like, we all love gear. It's a lot of fun, and tweaking kits and putting kits and stuff together have always been fun for me. So I really appreciate you watching. I'm going to be getting some more videos out here on the channel. Sorry for the lack of content, but thank you for everyone who supported me. And I hope you are able to get outside and enjoy the woods.